Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. Check out the sunrise. I've lost all my shallow flat area, except just a little bit. So I'm not sure how the topwater is going to go today. But I am going to start off by throwing something a little different. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name's Alan. I appreciate all the support. Well, let's get to it. I've got the black bass rod, and I've gone on a little micro spinner. Looks like a little shad pattern. And I'm just gonna bomb this around and see what we can catch today. The sun just came up. It's really nice. I can see the shad flickering on the surface. I've got some lures to test and some top waters to test, but I couldn't resist. I had this one strapped on from the last time I was out. So I'm gonna throw it. Hopefully we'll get something. It's got some nice weight to it. It's not your typical jig spinner or spinnerbait. It has like a molded head into it, meaning that it's more like a traditional spinnerbait instead of a jig spinner. But I've got some lure mods I want to test. Water temp is mid-70s. Or high 70s, excuse me. I was gonna say mid-80s. The temperature's mid-80s. All right, last cast, and I'm gonna tinker with some top waters. All right, guys, we're hooked up on a little mini micro spinner bait. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, check it out. It's a white bass. Well, he just came up and clocked it. There he is. Check him out. That's it. Just a little jig spinner. Pretty cool looking, huh? Alright guys, the first thing I'm going to throw is this buzz plug by Arbogast. I just never have ever thrown one. I've seen them. I've almost used them. Man, look at all this. We used to stand way up, or used to stand way up in here. The grass is coming in now. There's young deer tracks. So I've got this one on the Avid 12 and 12. This one's the buzz plug. Check that out. It's just kind of chopping along. Oh, this thing's pretty cool. So I've said this a million times over the last couple of weeks. This kind of bows out and the water drops off. I used to catch them off that little pile of brush over there. Check that out. Whoo! Yeah, we haven't had rain and boy, it gets real shallow here. We haven't had rain in over a month. Kind of odd. All right, we're too shallow. So this was my flat. I'd stand clear back up in here. You can kind of see that it's died off a little bit. And then they would just come in here and feed. You could tell because a carp was in there first. But we still have this gradual slope on that little point there. Yeah, I like throwing this. This one is the junior. It's got that interesting double hook on the back of it. You guys are going to help me with some lure mods today. See what you think of them. Alright guys, sometimes people will argue with me or comment that as soon as I throw a topwater out to let it sit and let everything just kind of calm down. A lot of times as soon as it hits the water I just get smoked. So I've caught them multiple ways. By letting it sit and then start cranking or cranking instantly. Remember, there's more ways than one to skin a cat. So, but there are times where I let it sit for a little while. And then I start cranking, let it sit. Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, the water was like way up into the trees over there. I don't think they're letting much out of the dam. It's just it gets so hot, you know, we get so much evaporation and the water kicks back. Whew, this little buzz plug is fun. Here we go, guys, on the buzz plug. I was looking the other way when I had the blow up. What do we got here? Is it a crappie? Oh, check it out. It's a white bass. Boy, he just came up and crushed it. Easy, easy. Easy. There we go. Got to be careful with these guys because they've got spines on them that are pretty gnarly. There we go. There he is right there, little white bass on the buzz plug. There he goes. All right, check it out. It's got that cool, unique 2-hook system. This is a pretty cool little lure. This one's the Junior. All right, time to start testing some lures to see if my modifications are gonna work out. All right, guys, check it out. This is a hula popper that was all banged up. And so they were cheap on eBay, so I got them to kind of test some things out. Look at the bottom. It's got this unique, well, it's pretty typical with a lot of them. It's that little hardware system with the 2 screws. Well, there was one here, and I took it off so I could do this as a single hook. Now I can take that off and then put in just a regular screw back there, because this can be kind of tricky, but there is a little split ring there that I added. But I want to try to keep it close to original. I know that sounds dumb, especially if I took that off, but I'm just going to try this 1 hook, 1 treble setup. Still sits nice in the water. So we'll bomb this around just to see. That was the main test right there, to see how it sits in the water. I love the hula popper. Yep, it's gonna work. I kid you not, guys. I've got a friend of mine with the hula poppers and any popper. He'll bomb it out, and he just does a straight crank retrieve. He just runs it. I don't want to say burn it, but almost like he's burning it. All right, we're gonna start down there. We're gonna head back. And we'll run her through. Ooh, let me get this out of the way. See, she's just sitting down there. The other thing, guys, I've got this on a Shimano Miravel. I give this thing 2 thumbs up. I haven't had any issues with it. I've never used a 2500 before. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. And I've not been disappointed. Usually I go with 3000s, 300s, 30s, depending on what brand you use. I used to always fish Shimano, then I switched over to Lew's. Okay, so this one's working out pretty good. If I catch something, great, but I've got a bunch of these I gotta cycle through. Ooh-wee. All right, so this is gonna work. Let me get to my little, see, it's deep here, then it comes up, and bows out. There's big gar in here. Drum, there's a lot of drum. I haven't caught a drum in a while. Lots of largemouth. This would be a really good smallmouth lake too. There may be in here. I just have never heard of anyone catching any. All right, so this modification is going to work. It may be at some point that I take off that traditional hardware and just put a screw in there and then split ring and put a Berkeley Fusion. That's what I got on there now. Berkeley Fusion 19. I had a little shad come up next to it. All right, last cast along this little shoreline here, and then we'll switch to another one. So the hula popper modification, I would call that a success. All right, guys, next modification is on a bomber along a, excuse me, I filed the bill down just a little bit, ground it down just a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that. And I put really light hooks on there. What are these, 8s maybe? Nah, 6s, 8s. Anyway. So I like this one. I like it for its wake action. The long A is notorious for that. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll twitch it real quick, let it dive down, let it come up like it's wounded, and then I'll start the cranking. Real slow, real light on the surface so it gets that wake. Not too shabby. You can see it coming. I lower the rod tip as it gets closer. That way it can get a chance to work its magic. I gotta find my little crease here, my little seam. I'm telling you guys, the bomber long A as a wake bait is just phenomenal. You can also, look at the little shad freaking out, zipping into the shallows here. You can also just run it below the surface. As in, you know, like with about a 6 inches to a foot. They'll find it. Yep, that's gonna work nicely. So I just, on a grinder, shave the bill down just a little bit. Not too much. Lighten the hooks up. That action. Ooh, this thing is epic. So if you never tried a long A, go for it. Now you got a couple of mods that you can do just to help it out a little bit. Now there is a 14A, and I just throw that as is, because that thing right under the surface is just deadly. It looks like a fleeing minnow. There we go. All right, so this one I'm counting as a success for me. I let it dive down just a little bit and then twitched it, let it come up. Man, that looks good. All right, guys, that's it for the bomber mod. So now we're gonna take a look at a mod that my friend does. So he'll take a fat-free shad, which can get down pretty deep, and he grinds the bill down so it turns into a 4-wheel drive deep diver, so he can get it down there. I'm not sold on it, but we'll bomb it around and see what happens. Cast a country mile, because normally they get down pretty good. What is it, like 17, 18 feet on a fat-free 7? So you still want to run something big and let it bang around down there. Oh yeah, I can feel it digging. And then I just kill it. Yep, I can feel it's going bang, 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 bang. I had a chaser. Check it out, super slow rise. Technically this one is a suspending model because of the eyes. It's got the red eyes, but I think with the bill being filed down, it's kind of affecting it a little bit in terms of coming up. Essentially, you crank that sucker way down there and you just kill it, it's gonna suspend. It is just such a slow rise. Look at that puff of smoke, or puff of sand there. There was a little crawdad there. And then sometimes when I kill it, I just shake it on slack line and it'll twitch. There we are, we're digging. Just letting it do its thing. Man, that's a cool lure. All right, so we'll test this one out. Looks like a giant shad. All right, no complaints on this modification, although it's very odd. I know they make some shallow running fat-frees, but they don't make them anymore. You just got to find them on eBay. Well, there you go. If you ever wanted to turn a deep diver into a four-wheel drive deep diver, it'll still get down there. Just put it on the grinder, get the bill down. Probably get destroyed by a gar. Was it last year? I had a gar absolutely destroy a flat-sided bomber and fire crawl. It was a big fish. I got the video in there somewhere. All right, no complaints about this one. 2 thumbs up on this modification. The bomber one, I give it 1.5. The hula popper, 2 thumbs up. All right, guys, one thing I need to mention is, and I've said this before, on every cast in this state, on any body of water, you have a chance to catch not only a state record, but a world record. Oops. Hey, was that a fish? I felt a bit of a snag there and had to give it an extra yank. So, oh, well, fishing line. Dang it. I was like, this thing's 4-wheel drive. I'm crying out loud. I'll have to get that later. Anyway, so every cast, there's the potential of getting a state record or a world record. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, there are some titanic bass in this state. A lot of people discount Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, but there's some big bass in those states too. But Texas, you get down into some of these bodies of water where some of these fish are undisturbed, even with live scope. There's a lot of places for these fish to hide, and they just get massive. All right. So this bill on this is so smooth, it's not going to affect the line at all. But yep, suspending model. Got some Berkeley Fusion 19s on there because I got these off of eBay and they had to clean them up. I got a whole bunch of them. Anyway, all right, time to switch to the next modification. All right, guys, next lure mod on this Rogue. It comes with 3 hooks. Oops, I'm sitting here looking around. I need to get it in the camera. Comes with 3 hooks. I took the center one out. I ground down that little hook there, or the little screw that's in there, and I covered it up with some sealer, but it looks almost like the fish's anal port, you know? So it doesn't look too bad, but I always prefer the double hook. Jerk baits, and it's hard to get them sometimes in the larger sizes, and some people say, oh, it's going to affect the action on it. Well, we're going to find out. Oh man, that casts a country mile. This is in the color Northern Lights, old Frank Scalish design. I'm telling you guys, if you've never fished a Rogue, you gotta do it. It's just the action on it. It's got that cool roll. You can twitch it. Bangs around down there if you needed to. Oh yeah, check out the color. All right, I'm convinced. 2 hooks isn't gonna make a difference on here. Somebody might say, oh, you're gonna lose a fish. I've never really lost one on a jerkbait due to the number of hooks, although I've never tried it. Does that make sense? Let me rephrase that. I've never have trouble losing them. If they're caught in the middle, the back, they're hooked, they're hooked. I never have all 3. It's usually just 1 set or 2. Northern Lights right there. The cool thing about these pearls that my buddy Frank Scalish did with a lot of these FX series and Gen 2s, man, he lays these pearls down and they just look epic, and they change based on the body of water. In terms of the watercolor, so this one's got a perfect flash in there, and this water is relatively clear. It hadn't turned over yet because we're still in the temperature wise high 80s, mid 80s to high 80s, sometimes even 90. Water temp is about 80 to 82. Sometimes you'll hit it. Some of the lakes are 78 now. But I'm breaking a sweat right now, and it's 8:30 in the morning. It's already 84. All right, guys, one last look at this Smithwick. Check that out. Not bad with down to the 2 hooks. That's just a me thing. But I've fished and fished. I don't notice any action difference. Of course, the weight's going to change, but it didn't impact anything that much. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, guys, this is one of my absolute favorite. Oops. For crying out loud. I got it hooked on my hoodie. This is a Bill Lewis scope stick in Smalley Magic in that epic color. Same thing on this one. I took the middle treble out, grinded it down. Looks like a little anal port. But this, guys, these things, you can get the 120s for as low as $5. You gotta stock up on them. People are like, oh, the bills can snap. I haven't had any trouble with the bills except once fishing in Iowa on the one of the rocky rivers there, and that was after multiple trips, multiple casts during the day. And it's easy. All you do is you just get the bill out of there and put a new one in. You can get bills in there. All right, man, check out the color on this. It just glistens in that sun. And they have the same colors in their rattle traps and hammer traps. And you've seen in my videos where I've just crushed them on this color. My preferred size for jerkbait is 97, 100. Ooh, something just popped right there. But this 120, I've caught some nice bass on it. So I did this with a couple of them. The other ones I need to test would be like a Booyah flash point. Maybe I did. It may be in there, but that's one I keep thinking I need to also do the mod. It's just a me thing, like I was saying before. I prefer the 2 hooks jerk baits. Part of it is because when we're fishing up north and you got a net like giant pike or big walleye, it makes it so much easier. But the other thing is, for me, it improves the action on it. I get a little bit more control. Man, check out this thing. The color on this is just remarkable. I don't know if you guys remember last spring, I was throwing a 120, the solid red one, and I had a crappie just come up and destroy it at one of my buffalo holes. It was so much fun. So keep your eyes peeled for the scope sticks. If I think about it, I'll put a link down there where you can get them for like dirt cheap. We got different models of it. I love throwing these things. So if you hadn't picked up a scope stick, you got to do it. Okay, so taking one treble off hasn't affected the action one bit. I was just doing a steady crank on that last one just to see what the deal was. Yeah, this is gonna be fine. All right, so far the only one, the Bomber Long A, I didn't see much of a difference on that than what it I mean, the lighter hooks helped, but filing that bill down a little bit, I didn't really notice much of a difference. I like this Smalley Magic color because it's partially translucent. Man, it's just a great color. It's got the flash. So sometimes I'll sweep it. Sometimes I just do the twitch, 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 twitch. All right, no complaints out of me on this for the modification on this. I burned it a little bit and then stopped it, and it just bang, bang, twitch, twitch. Man, I love throwing this thing. All right, on to the next one. All right, guys. This one's a 6 cents slow sink provoke. I think it's 90, I'm pretty sure it's 97. I took out that middle hook, that treble, filed it down, smoothed it over a little bit. This one got dinged up a little bit on the grinder because I was looking out the garage at something. Anyway, so we're gonna try this. I won't do this to all my jerk baits, but just a couple of them, just to change it up, you know, have something a little bit different. Part of it is because I love tinkering just to see what will happen if you adjust this or do that. Man, that thing casts a country mile. Slow sink, so on the way down, I'll give it just a couple of twitches. And the provokes have got excellent action on them. Six Sense is such an innovative company. They're always changing things, tinkering with things. They've had a whole bunch of new baits have come out lately. They're down in my neck of the woods, down here in Texas. Oh. All right, no difference on the action. This thing looks epic, feels epic. Now somebody will say, doesn't matter, no matter what you do, you take a hook off, it's going to change the action. You may not realize it, but yeah, that may be true. But and you know the thing is, guys, this little French pearl one, I got it for $4.99. $4.99. Keep your eyes peeled, like on Amazon or even at the 6 Cents website or Tackle Warehouse, because they'll do these sales every once in a while. And you can pick up some good stuff. Oh man, Bombcast City right there. And the cool thing, when it sinks, it's got like a little shimmy. Looks good. All right, guys, check out this mod. It's a Smithwick 3.5 incher, the junior. I didn't take any of the trebles off. This may not be a junior. This may be, I think this one's a vintage one, just in that size. But anyway, it's got a tail spinner on there. So this one, I've got so many of these Smithwicks laying around. Oh, yep, check that out. And boy, she sinks, but this is a deal. She sinks tail down. But that thing is spinning. Weird. All right, I got some Fusion 19s on there. So we'll test this one out with a bill and that on the back end. This one I'm just going to do slow cranks, not necessarily jerks, because it's got the tail spinner on there, or I can't do it. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. It wants to give it some lift. That's cool. It wants to give it some lift, so like it pushes it up. That's pretty neat. I'm gonna have to make some more of those. I know exactly where I'm gonna throw them too. Shallow rivers in Iowa. And my spots. And it's got the nice shiny sides on. All I got to do is just give it just a quick twitch and let that side flash. Now you can't crank it too fast because it will blow out. But you just got to do a nice steady crank. Kill it and then do your twitch, just so that it rolls just a little bit to show that flash. Twitch, twitch. The cool thing is with that tail dipping, if a fish is following it, it's gonna back down towards it. With that tail like that, weighted like that, it's just going to come down right into their grill. Oh man, this thing is nice. Yep, I'm keeping this one. I'm going to make a few more. The key thing is don't crank it too hard because it's going to blow out on you. Because it's doing lift and it's got the lip on the front. So you just got to go easy with it. But you can definitely get some twitches in there. Twitch, twitch. Twitch, twitch. Oh my gosh, guys, this is fun to throw. I've got one modification that I didn't bring, and that is I've got one of the bigger Smithwicks. I think it's a top 20, and on that one, it's in one of my other tackle boxes. The bill is ground down to like a square bill. Can you imagine that on a Rogue? Four-wheel drive that thing, bang, 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 bang. And it works out pretty good. It's in the clown color. All right, I'm giving this modification 2 thumbs up. It'll fail if you try to over crank it. So you just got to do the twitch twitch, slow, steady crank, kill it. You got to be patient with it and it'll work just fine. One more lure modification, then I gotta wrap it up for the day. Oh my gosh, look at that flash, guys. Ooh-wee. So this one was banged up. I had to put some pearls on the side. See on the top, I had some pearls, purple, and then on the sides, a silver. Look at that flash. This thing was all gnarled up. Added the false eye. Man, this thing casts a country mile. So we're gonna work this little stretch and then one more lure modification and then I gotta wrap it up. But so far, all of them have been 2 thumbs up except for the bomber, long A. I felt a thump, guys. Dang it. Crying out loud. That was a solid thump. He didn't get it. I mean, it was a thunk. What the heck? Let me go back in there. I'm going to throw it past him a little bit and then bring it. There we go. Do I have one? I got popped, guys. Check it out. It's a little bitty white bass. I knew something down there thumped him. Come on, stop your twitching. I love doing the 2 hooks, guys. So this one naturally has 2 hooks, but check out that spinner on the back. All right, little fella. Check this guy out. Boy, he's gonna be bait for a bass. Look at the colors on him. I don't like to leave him out with his eyes in the sun like that too much. Whew. All right, there we go. A little mod repair paint job. I didn't even use an airbrush. I just used a paintbrush. Little brush, Fusion 19s, and then the spinner. All right, one more modification, and then we're gonna wrap it up. All right, guys. So this is the last mod one. This is a fat-free fingerling. It's got a little suspend strip on there, but look at the bill. Smooth. This one's been filed down. My buddy does this to his. It doesn't affect the depth that much, he doesn't think, that he can tell anyway. To me, it probably doesn't go as deep, but it'll still dive down there, but it turns it into 4-wheel drive. I think this one's an electric shad. A pattern by, color pattern by Frank Scalish, I think. Oh, check out that. Ooh. Yeah, I won't mind grinding some bills down on these. I got a whole bunch of them. Check that out. That looks just like a shad making a run for it. Oh, look at that cast a country mile. All right, let's get her down there. It's deep out there. It hasn't hit bottom yet. There we go. Ooh-wee. All right. 2 thumbs up on, jeez, look at that. You cast at a country mile. All right, guys, this works. The action is great on it. It's banging around down there. 4-wheel drive. It's a little more crisp, I would say. Throwing this one on the Avid with some Sunline Overwatch 12 and 12. And this little Shimano Miravel right here, 2500. I think I'm gonna, Bass Pro's got a customer appreciation deal coming up. Oh my gosh, I got popped, guys. And I think I'm gonna buy another one on their club member, put on the club members card. I'm gonna get the 3000s though. Dang it, I had something pop this, for crying out loud, it didn't take it. Maybe it was like that other one I did where there was just a little thump. And it turned out that it was a little white bass. Yeah, I can feel it digging down there. Look at that. Guys, that looks just like a little bait fish. Check that out. Bang, 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 bang. Ooh-wee. I love this mod. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for me for today. I'm going to do a couple more casts. But thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Channel's always growing. Thanks to you guys. I never really tell anybody, please like, subscribe, and share. I don't know. I just think that's just, everybody already knows that. At the end of the video, I think there's a little reminder in there. But for the most part, I just don't ever mention that. Ooh. Let's wait and see how this one winds up. Anyway, I've had a lot of fun today. I'm going to an outdoor trade days kind of a thing. See if I can find some old lures. I want to get there pretty decently early, and then I can always go back to fishing later. Oh. All right, guys, there's our parting shot right there. Hey, get off of there. You need to get some of these bombers. Look at that sparkle in there. They're like $3.99. They're cheap and they're great lures. Go pick some up. Everyone's all into these crazy ones from all these different companies, and I fall for it too, but just a straight up bomber, they're my favorite lures. I like anything from Bill Lewis is good too. Just a whole bunch of them, I guess, but this is my favorite. Bandits, I like throwing those. I don't throw the Normans too much anymore. I used to throw them all the time, but all right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Till next time, bye-bye. Now get out there and get your lures wet.